Welcome to Untamed Blossoms, the podcast where we celebrate the untamed journey of womanhood. Here, we tell the stories of incredible women who have embraced their authenticity, inspiring others to do the same.
From entrepreneurs to artists, activists to adventurers, we share triumphs, challenges, and the beauty of self-discovery. These are the stories of women blazing their own trails, breaking free, and blooming unapologetically.
Join us to connect, be inspired, and celebrate the power of women's stories. Together, let's rewrite the rules and embrace our wildness.
Welcome to Untamed Blossoms. I'm your host, Amanda Riley.
And I'm Christy Riley. Welcome to the show, everybody.
I missed you today at the gym. It's okay.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
The work schedule's been.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you know, we're 2 months out from her having her driver's license.
Which is so crazy.
Praise God, hallelujah.
Like, I saw a picture of her the other day, like when she was so little. And it's just like, that's so weird that she'll be getting her license.
This is my husband's baby.
Yeah.
Getting her driver's license.
The youngest, well, not anymore, but.
But she's the last one in our nucleus family.
Right.
And the only one left at home. And so this for her equates freedom. So she's literally counting down the days.
Yeah.
And has it marked on the calendar when she can test based on when she got her permit. And is so excited. Yeah. So she started her in-car driving school stuff this week.
What a time. The first day that I went to mine, I had to drive my mom's Caravan. The really big ones that when you open the door, like the lights came on at the bottom because it was like a spaceship inside there. Yeah. Really big car to be learning. And my alternative, and when I ended up taking my test in, was a stick shift.
Oh.
So one might say me picking the hardest thing at every turn started at a very young age. So
we did it. All of our vehicles were manual, so
yeah.
We had to learn stick shift.
Yeah.
I taught my daughters how to drive them, and my oldest son. The youngest one, by the time he came around, there really wasn't much point. There's very few vehicles out there still that,
There rarely is.
That's a manual shift. So I didn't teach him. He's the only one.
Yeah.
And honestly, my daughters haven't driven one in so long that I'm not sure that they could still. But my first 2-3 cars were stick shifts.
Yeah.
So, I'm still very versed in driving a stick, but.
Yeah. It's one of those things when you don't do it, though, you're like, what the hell is this clutch? Why do I need both my feet? Yeah.
I'll have to shift.
I'll never forget my dad sitting us at the bottom of the hill and be like, all right, get up it.
Go.
I was like, this sounds easy. However, so.
We started driving farm vehicles around when I was pretty young, so.
Yeah.
And we lived out in the country, so it wasn't unusual for the kids to be put behind the wheel at 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
Even on those little country roads back in the day.
Yeah.
Mind you, there were barely seatbelts in cars, much less, all of the safety features that we have now. So it was nothing to see kids hanging out of back windows, driving down country roads. Yeah, like literally half hanging out, trying to grab branches and all kinds of dangerous shit we do, smack weeds and.
I was in Marion helping my dad with something the other day, and we were in the backyard. We had to drive a truck around front just to put the old thing out by the road. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit in the back of this truck while you drive us around the house, because I don't think I'm sure I did it once or twice, but I've never felt real country.
Did you feel liberated? Did you feel like
I felt like. Wow.
Something wrong.
Hillbilly.
So many trips in the back of trucks. So many. Like, we grew up very, very country.
Yeah.
Very hillbilly. So that was a common occurrence. I was one of 21 first grandchildren for my granny. So we all piled in the backs of trucks and went places. And somebody was buying ice cream or, that wasn't very often. But yeah, we would all be riding in the backs of pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Then they made that shit illegal.
Yeah. Rightly so. Rightly so. So, I went on a road trip this weekend a little bit.
You did. It's your wedding anniversary.
It's our wedding anniversary.
anniversary.
Thank you.
We had a big
October
hike.
8th.
You guys go for a hike every year.
Yeah. So our first wedding anniversary, Noah knows I love to hike. For our first year wedding anniversary, we went to Hocking Hills. And we had a really, really great time.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like unspokenly decided that we would do that every year. And so last year, when we went to Hocking Hills, we got Bigfoot sweatshirts, matching one. Not matching, but like mine had tie-dye and his was like a color. And last year we went to Yellow Springs and we did a hike and we got matching shirts from somewhere there. So this year I sent him no less than like 25 different hikes. I'm like,
Right.
I don't care where we go. You pick. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I work out all the time. I hike a lot.
Right.
I play pickleball.
You're active.
I'm pretty active.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you just pick.
Yeah.
And so he says, okay. And he picks one in Athens. Neither of us have ever hiked in Athens or really even been down. I was down there maybe once, but very drunk time. So I was like, yeah, let's go to Athens. I've never been, whatever. We picked this 6-ish mile hike, right? That's not a big deal. We've done longer before.
Right.
You know, I just don't think you really looked at the elevation of it.
Oh,
and so we get there and I realized the OSU games on at the same time. I don't give a shit. Right. But he normally likes to watch it, so I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh, we're kind of out here because it's not going to get service and to you be able to check the score. But he was like, oh, I don't really care. I was like, okay. So I start walking. I'm like, this is pretty challenging. We're going up and up, going up. And I was like, oh boy. Because for me, up is really easy. Mm-hmm. It's down because my knee.
Yeah.
So then we start going down. I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks. And it's taking us a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get a little panicky. Like, how long is this going to take us?
Were you on a loop trail?
A loop trail.
Yeah.
In the middle of nothing.
Right.
So he's a sign reader. He like stops and reads every sign.
Right. Wants to learn all the things.
Yes.
And a true Gemini.
And we're in the middle of nowhere, and there's these off little shoots. Like, go over here to this little canyon. So we go off to this little canyon thing. Like, we're going to all these little offshoots. He's reading all these little signs, and time's ticking. Miles are going slow. It's like, oh God, we're going to be here forever. So finally, we're going up this steep ass hill. And you know, the last mile when you're like, we're pretty tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, do you think this whole last mile is uphill? And I was like, I don't think so. So we get to the top of this huge, just like up. At the top of it, there's like a huge sign for bikers because it's also a bike trail.
Right.
Basically being like, you will fly off your bike if you go down this. Like there was a guy in a parachute off of a bicycle.
Oh, Jesus.
On the sign.
Oh, Jesus.
He's like, oh, take a picture. I go, do you need a break? He's like, no. Take a picture of me with the sign. I go,
okay.
You sure it's a picture of the sign you want and not that we just climbed up this huge ass hill? You might need a little breather because I know I do, you know. Right. But we made it out. It was super, super fun. We went to Athens. We got matching OU shirts. Nice. It was a great time. But yesterday, he walked out of the bedroom hobbling. Oh. And he's like, I can't get up. And I do feel bad. And my knee is throbbing. It's been pretty rough. But it was an awesome hike. It was just way harder than I think either of us.
Well, you're coming off of a pretty gnarly knee injury.
Yeah.
So probably was more than you probably should have been doing too.
It was all fine till
working out aside.
Till I realized the trail was called Finger Rock for a reason because there is a rock you have to climb down that looks like a finger pointing.
Oh gosh.
And I thought, how am I going to do this? He goes, I don't know, like on your butt. So I was like scooting down this rock. There's a picture of me, my feet in the air. I'm scooting down this rock. It was a great time. It was really fun.
You guys got through it together.
We got through it together.
That's awesome.
Somehow, some way.
The symbol of a year of marriage right there. we hills up, down, sideways, challenges, got through.
But neither of us are complainers, which is really nice. Like neither of us really complain about much.
Yeah, he could have been like, God, are we still at balance? And he was like, do you think this whole last month?
Yeah. He actually
he's so great. He's very chill and he says things very like flatly and matter-of-factly that you're like, is that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So it was
not complaining, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a good time. So
that's fantastic.
I love this time of year. It's so nice to be outside. And
we're getting very long this isn't airing until January, you guys, but right now it's fall in Ohio or mid-October, and it's still very warm, really.
Yeah. None of the leaves are changing. It's been too hot, too dry.
It's been too hot and dry, but yeah. So they'll change in 1 week and I'll fall down probably, but
probably. Good. So we're, because our guest today is remote, and again, we're recording in October. This won't air until January, but yeah, she's in Colorado. I'm interested to see what it's like there right now.
Yeah, Alex Beekley is her name, and an entrepreneur coach, and we were referred to speak to her from our financial guru, Becca, that we had on the podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you, Becca, for the referral, and we can't wait to talk to her.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good. Doing really good. Had a great day so far, so can't complain.
Love that. And it's so crazy. We were talking, like, you're all the way in Colorado, of course. Yep. And so it's like pretty mild there this time of year, right? It's not anything crazy.
No, it's pretty nice. It's right, like Colorado's very temperamental anyways. So like today was like earlier like 60s and sunny, and then it started to rain. Now it's like 45, and maybe later it'll snow, or maybe it'll come back. You never know. So you just gotta like wear layers and hope for the best every day.
I love that. So we got, you were referred to us by Becca, who was our financial specialist that we had on not too long ago. So how do you guys know each other?
We met through networking as well, and I believe, I'm trying to remember,
nice.
It was earlier last year too, and we had like some like lunches, coffees and stuff, and then we lost contact for a bit because we both were like so busy. And then she started a networking event earlier this year. So I went and I was like, oh, hi, Becca. Like, how are you doing? And like all the things have changed, and it was fun. So when we just help each other grow. So it was a cool
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell us, okay, we know that you're in Colorado now. Have you always been in Colorado? Like, take us back to your earlier life, parents, siblings, where'd you grow up?
Yeah, my family situation's simple, like everyone else's. So I grew up in Idaho mostly. Did high school in Utah, so I was there for just 4 or 5 years, and then I moved here. But yeah, Idaho's awesome. I definitely recommend people, especially people who love Colorado. Like they're gonna love Idaho because it's less people but the same activities. So you have like so much more ability and space to like go skiing or hiking, camping, whitewater rafting, fishing, like all the things are super fun there. So childhood was really fun. We just did a lot of outdoor activities, and I grew up doing like high level sports. So I did high level gymnastics for a long time, taught me a lot of discipline, and just like you're getting your shit done basically because you're doing school for like a couple hours in the mornings. You're at the like a facility for gymnastics for like 6 to 8 hours a day, and then you're doing homework at night and going to sleep. But so it's like you're kind of living an entrepreneur lifestyle. So I was kind of grateful for that at the beginning of life. And it's just so me, my mom, dad, and sister. So just 4 of us. They split when I was pretty young, which kind of good, bad thing because they're just best friends anyway. So like they're just better apart. But we just had like so much fun with each one of them because my mom was my gymnastics coach. My dad was like my strength training coach. And it was just fun. Like we were just a fit family and just did a lot of cool things with that. And then moved to Utah for high school, was there, started like different like entrepreneurship classes pretty early. Like I read my first book at 16 and I was like, people build businesses, like that's insane to me. I never knew that. Yeah. So it was pretty cool to kind of be awoken to that because I think you never know what you know until you know, basically.
Totally.
So it's grateful.
And so being like outdoorsy, right? I think we've talked to a lot of different people who have experienced just like the connection with nature too, and just being in the atmosphere where it's encouraged to. We're such a tech society now. We're drawn to our laptops and computers and phones constantly. So what part of being in that atmosphere did you really take on? You're getting into entrepreneurship and all of these things, but what did you take from spending that time in nature?
It's a good question. I think just being present with nature, but then just knowing its beauty. I think, like you said, we live in such a tech society world that we miss just the simple beauties of everything. Like waking up to a sunrise, and especially like different parts of Idaho, like Coeur d'Alene's my favorite just because of how absolutely gorgeous it is, especially in the fall because there's so many pine trees, but there's a lot of just regular like leaf changing trees. And then there's mountains, there's rivers everywhere, and just like waking up, especially like when you're camping, and it's like almost like a wallpaper screen on your phone. It's so fun. Like you don't know any different either. And then, you get phones later in life and you're like, I've been here, I've seen this.
Yeah.
So it's just like that gratitude and appreciation, as well as like, man, like we always need to get back to nature, I think, for either grounding purposes or just going back to roots in different aspects, just for simplicity and gratitude of things.
Yeah, I love that. it's easy to forget that when things are moving so fast paced and, and starting a business and being in that field, it can be difficult to remember to be present with those around you even. And I think taking mindfulness and connectedness into your business is really important.
So I have a quick question about the gymnastics. Like, this is serious. This isn't I go to school and do gymnastics on the side. Like, gymnastics was your full-time gig and you had school on the side.
Basically.
Right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, basically.
And so what level of competition requires that? Now I'm thinking like, oh, she's an Olympian. Right? Like, what level of competition was that?
Yeah, so it depends on where you're at and what like schools you want to. So a lot of my past generations in my mom's side of the family were like high level, either collegiate, Olympic levels, like professional. So that was almost an expectation per se, like not a negative one at all. It was just like, this is what we did. We're elite at what we're doing. We're gonna kick butt at this. So like I did it for about 10 years. So from 4 to 14 and until when I was about 8, that's when it got pretty serious. So you get to like certain levels. Level 10 is like the highest in like high school, and then you go collegiate and then or Olympic and then collegiate, whatever avenue you get drafted for that. And so when you're about 8 and you're like, okay, I got 10 years to like kick butt, just to do something different every single, like get to that point where you're different than everybody else, then yeah, so it's about 8, and you're there for, it keeps progressing. So I think at that age it was like 4 hours a day just after school typically, and then a couple years later it was about 6, and then it went up to 8, and so I had to do homeschool because I was like, I can't be at school anymore basically, because you're there from like noon to 8 p.m. It's insane. And so
Wow.
Yeah, it can get pretty intense just again based off of what your goals are, but I think that's, I don't know, something you can learn from success. Like, it's not going to be waiting for you. You got to put in the effort and the time and the energy to get to that goal that you want to. So it's going to take some sacrifice in that meantime.
You stopped at 14. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What happened at 14?
So at that time it was interesting because I don't know, like there was a month period of time where it just became like everything was in slow motion. Like I was just there doing things I was supposed to, but I was like, this isn't what I meant to do anymore. I don't know where that came from. That just dawned on me one day. It was funny because I did tell my dad because I was afraid of my mother. She was like, no way, you're not going to stop doing that. But it was just like this internal knowing of like, okay, this has been my season. Like I've put in a ton of effort. And even at that time, I was like not progressing as fast as everyone else per se, because I did have like initial talent, but I didn't put the hard work in. So then, later on, everyone else was putting the hard work in, and I was like, my talent isn't working anymore. So that was kind of an awakening point of like, do I want to put in all of this energy to get through a sport that I can't even do for the rest of my life? Or do I need to change that? Can I be a normal kid for a period of time? So just kind of all these different things I was thinking about. And one day I was just like, I got to be done, or at least take a break. And I never went back. But yeah, just kind of an enlightening moment within that period of time.
How did your social life play out during that time? Like, were you missing hanging out with friends or having friends at that age? If you're not in school, did you maintain some friendships during that time?
So we moved around a lot as well. So we, I kind of didn't have friends for multiple reasons. Gymnastics was one, because your friends are usually at the gym with you anyways, because you're spending 8 hours a day. So it's kind of like when you go to a job, your coworkers are your friends because you spend so much time with them. And so I didn't have that, I guess, ability to choose the friends that I had. Plus we moved a lot. Plus I was like, you know what? Everyone's kind of boring. So we're just gonna not have friends for a while and focus on like the goals that I had at the time. And so I didn't have a social life, but at the same time, again, I didn't know a difference because I thought it was okay because I was very goal oriented back then as well. So I just wanted to get stuff done.
So that wasn't a factor on your deciding to quit.
No, not really.
So how did the conversation with your dad went? I'm assuming better than the one with your mom, maybe, or were you surprised on the outcome of those conversations?
I mean, they were hard conversations. Like even my dad was like, "Are you sure? Like you put in all this time and dedication." But I don't know. Both my parents are pretty awesome just because they're like, they'll trust their kids with decisions because they're like, you're growing into adults. Like we're raising young adults. And so anytime we made a decision, we're pretty set on it. Then they're like, okay, you're going to have to sit with it. Like you can't go back. You can't just revert to the old path that you were going on. You're taking a new one. And so I had the conversation with my dad. It was a little bit easier. And he's like, hey, you're going to have to tell your mom. And that did shatter our relationship a little bit. But over time, that allowed us to not just have a relationship based off of gymnastics, but other things. So like other aspects of our life that we loved, or the character traits that we had, or just like growing in different areas. So it allowed us to kind of open up a little bit more instead of just one area of our life.
So were you able to go to a high school for the full 4 years, or did you do some homeschooling still, or were you moving around still at that point?
Yeah, by that time when I quit, I was actually going to go to my mom's old high school. So we moved and just stayed at that house. I think my mom's still there at this moment in time. So it's been several years now. It was like our last big move. And so I did go to the same high school for 4 years, which was really nice. It was kind of an interesting change because at that point, I had zero social skills at all. So interesting growth orientation. But yeah, it was definitely a needed experience because I needed to start making friends and socializing.
And then so what happened after that? Did you go, okay, I think I want to jump into entrepreneurship at a young age, or did you decide I want to go to college, or where did you go from there?
Yeah. And when I look back, yeah, 14, 15, 16, I was just getting through high school, doing different things. And then, the school counselors come to you and be like, okay, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Like, we got to pick a path right now. And I'm like, it was like my first life crisis. I was like, I don't freaking know. Like, I don't want to choose one thing to do forever. I don't like a lot of things. I'm not good at a lot of things. But it was like that started to come about.
Says every 18-year-old on the planet.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, but we started early. It's like 16, so you could figure out like because we had different programs that you could like do if you wanted to do like welding or like college or like we need to know now, so we need to put you in those classes to like get you farther ahead, or you're just gonna go to college. And I was like, well, my parents went to college for sports. I'm not really in sports anymore. What am I gonna do? So that's where I say this story's kind of funny. Where about 16, I accidentally found my first business book because usually, so every night I had to read. I couldn't fall asleep for some reason until that. So I was going back and forth, mom and dad's house, went to my dad's house, and it was like the first time ever in my life that I forgot my book that I was reading. And I'd never seen my dad ever read something in my existence. So I was like, Dad, you got words on paper somewhere that I could read to go to sleep? Something. He goes in the garage for like 45 minutes, something insane. Comes out with this purple book and gives it to me. And he says it was a gift from somebody. And it was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So I think that's everyone's kind of first business book per se. But both my parents weren't entrepreneurs or didn't even talk about businesses. And so they didn't even know, again, what they didn't know. But when I started reading books like that, it just blew my mind. Like I went down a rabbit hole of just different self-development books and business and leadership. And I was like, I feel like this is it. Like, cause I need to like figure out what I need to do apparently. So, and then at that point I did different like leadership classes. We had different kind of courses throughout there, entrepreneurship. And then, yeah, I actually didn't decide to go to college. I went for like a semester and dropped out because I started my first business. But yeah, that's kind of when that really started.
So you are enthralled by this book. You're like, yes, this is lighting me up. This makes sense. Love this.
You're consuming all kinds of entrepreneurial material.
But yeah, I did different like volunteering. So like anytime after school, like I had to drive about an hour, 2 hours every day after school for like different stuff I was doing. So I just got a ton of like audiobooks from the library and just went ham of like Robert Kiyosaki books. What was it? Like Tony Robbins, yeah, just all the different big guys, Gary Vaynerchuk at the time, things like that. So yeah, so just went down that rabbit hole.
And so now you're graduating high school. Did you end up going to college?
So I went for a semester. I graduated high school in 2020. So I was planning to go to college, but then that year happened and everything kind of just changed. So for me, that was a sign of like, you know what? Like I had at least 1 year scholarship to go to college at the University of Utah. But before that, in the summer, I'm just going to start businesses. I'm going to try stuff because I don't want to go. Like I just don't want to be like everybody else. And so that summer, I just did so many different avenues of business, dipped in just to understand different industries and like what I feel like I could do. I feel like over time, you can kind of do anything. It's just what is going to lead you to the life that you want and what do you feel like lights you up, but like fulfills your purpose. So sometimes, again, that takes sacrifice and like willingness to do things you don't want to do because it gets you further in life and helping other people. So I did stuff in like real estate. I got real estate license, insurance license at like the exact same time. I did stuff with like wholesale selling. I did traditional drop shipping. I sold jewelry, actually a brick and mortar store. Technically, I did stuff with medical supplies at the time for COVID. So many different things. And then I started my current business now. That was the one thing that I was like, okay, like this kind of makes sense. Like I also had people to help me in that process too. So it wasn't by myself, but I did all that. Technically went for like a semester in college and I was like, this is kind of stupid. Like at the time I had a mentor who was successful in business, was giving me their time and energy and dedication to help me grow. And then I was learning from someone in college that had never owned a business, but they just had like studied business textbooks. So they thought they could be able to teach on business. And so for me, I was like, one of these doesn't make sense. We're just maybe going to stop college and then learn from somebody who actually knows what they're doing and then build from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is your business right now? And tell us a little bit about what sparked that passion for you and how you got into it and more about the mentors. How are they helpful and how are they not helpful?
Yeah. So my business now, what I've done, so it's technically utilizing drop shipping, direct sales, and different components of that. So there's coaching within that as well. I've grown into, but I basically sell basic commodity products mostly to businesses. So that could be local in Colorado. I'm working on a network within nationwide within the states. We're working on contracts in different countries as well. So that's pretty cool just to be able to provide different things like that. So we're niching into a sense of organic, clean, vegan friendly products. And so we're allowing businesses to have a better quality good to enhance their business. So we work with like nutritionists, cleaners, salons, Airbnbs, like PTs, anyone that would use or promote a product that they want to feel good about. That's good for them. They're using it, good for the people in their circle and their clients basically. And so, but we can utilize drop shipping. So any person and client that I have can be able to get the products in any, whether that's their warehouse, their like actual home, to their client's home, things like that. So utilize that component of that. And then the coaching part is I can have an ability to teach someone else how to do that same thing, whether that's their full-time business or they actually just want to like pay off debt, have their financial goals, just something else in their portfolio. So that's kind of components of what I do there. And then the mentors that I have been in the same spaces for about 15, 20 years almost. And so they have so much knowledge when it comes to, especially the growth of like quote unquote e-commerce itself, but how to actually sustain a business for a long period of time and how to continue to grow it as well. So they've helped me just understand business in general, but actually an industry and a vehicle that I could use to, get to a point of I'm doing this full time now and being able to dedicate my life and helping other people do the same thing. So they've helped me in so many different aspects of that. And even in life too. Like I can't even think of an area of life that they cannot help me with, which is absolutely amazing.
I'm going to ask a dumb question, mostly because I'm explain drop shipping like I'm a 5-year-old, because people use that term for a business and I really don't understand.
No, that's like, honestly, I didn't either. I was like, what is, because everyone uses the same
I
word.
want to go, yes. Oh, that's fascinating. Yes, please tell me more about that. And then I'm like really in the back of my mind going, I don't know what she's talking about.
I get you. So drop shipping is basically where the manufacturer directly will send the product to your client. So you're basically the platform and the middleman to facilitate that transaction. So it's like I don't have to have a warehouse to like buy the products and then hope to sell it. It's just that direct, seamless process.
Got it. And the e-commerce part is you build a site that people interact with, and then your site puts an order in with a manufacturer and it goes straight to the consumer. Got it. Okay.
And how did you come up with that? Like, was it guidance towards that industry or were you passionate about a certain product, a clean product, a vegan product? Tell us a little bit about that.
Kind of a mixture of all those things. Even at that time, and I feel like, especially with COVID, everyone was buying stuff online. So I knew in the back of my head that was something that will continue to grow even after, we get out of this blip. It was something I knew I needed to do instead of like a brick and mortar business, any other type of traditional one. And it was pretty simple in the sense of it was really low capital. So I only really needed to figure out my website and figure out how to promote it. And so that was as simple as that. And then the products itself were really great because I actually knew different manufacturers as well. And I knew how high quality the products were. Because they were different like private sellers from some of them even been around for like 50, 60, 70 years. And so they're like, their brands and names have changed over time, but like the quality of the products and like their back end of stuff. And I did a ton of research on like knowing exactly what I'm going to get into. Like, are the products actually really good? What is the back end scientific research of this? How do you farm it? How do you actually manufacture the product? Like, is it good for the environment? Is it, is it using NSF certifications? You actually know what you're getting in either like any type of supplement or any type of good that you're going to consume or topically, things like that. And so my mom was pretty big or both my parents pretty big in the fitness industry and like really understanding good quality products ever since I was a kid. So I knew that was something important to me. So I was like, okay, if I can be partnering with brands that are doing awesome things with that, I can use them myself and I can promote them and build a business. Awesome. So once I figured all that out, I was like, I can do this. I can figure this out one day at a time.
And so your target is not, you said not the average consumer, but really restaurants, businesses.
Yeah,
you're selling to businesses.
Yeah, that's kind of the niche. I also love individual clientele, so individual people, because our website's pretty user friendly, so anyone can typically go on there and do their own thing. But businesses are super fun because again, you get to enhance like a whole network of people that the business owner is tapping into. And I don't know, that's for me, I've always loved networking with business owners anyways. And so individual people can be somewhat harder, but like business owners, it's just, I don't know, to me, a very fun process.
What are some things that you learned about yourself getting into entrepreneurship and working with other business owners? Like maybe things that you feel like, I thought I was good at that, but then really this taught me I needed to hone in on this skill, or things that you didn't know that you were good at that you were like, wow, I'm really surprised that this is pretty easy or natural for me.
So my journey of entrepreneurship, I realized I had zero skills. So I think before I came in, I was like, you know what? I just have the confidence. I could figure this out. But that was also, I didn't have the biggest self-image at the same time. And so getting into it, again, I went in with the mentality of like, okay, I got talent. I could figure this out. And then realized how much hard work it's actually going to take. And I was like, shoot, we can't escape this again. So I didn't have any social skills whatsoever. I could not talk to somebody. Like even stuff like this was absolutely terrifying to me. Just interacting with a human being on a screen, let alone in person. I didn't really know how to network or even promote myself professionally. A lot of different skills with that, even like talking about different products, like having the back end knowledge of that, any type of software development. So kind of not that many skills, but I think the one skill I came in with was that I had grit and persistency. Like I was willing to figure it out because I wanted to. And the more I get around different successful people, I think that's the one skill that I see. Like that's the one commonality of them all is like they're just willing to keep going when they sucked at absolutely everything, or they keep finding failure at their door, or all these different aspects of their life. They just kept freaking going. So I was grateful I had that and then could learn these different skills. I think anyone can learn any skill that they put their mind to learn, because it's just putting in the time and energy to develop that.
And now, what is the name of the website or the company?
Yeah. So my business is called Thrive Living Company.
Thrive Living.
Yes.
Perfect.
And you have a website, do you have social media? Where can people find you?
Yeah. So my social media is just my name. So the Alexandra Beekley. So I'll have info of just my website itself. I love doing just different like educational videos on, I might do the 5 F's: family, finance, freedom, fitness, and finances, or I think I said that one already. There's a 5th one in there somewhere. I love talking about just all the different things that not just, again, financially are important, but also like outside, you should want to build a well-rounded life.
Absolutely.
Great.
Do you feel like you have certain women in your life throughout who have helped you, guide you? Do you want to give a little shout out to them, or maybe talk a little bit about what they did to support you?
Absolutely. I'd say probably the most influential women. So aside from my mentors, I have some mentors, Jolene Carruthers and Teresa Danzig, are the most incredible women ever. Like I don't know, they're just different human beings just because they did different things in their life and did things that were uncomfortable and their life up for legacy for their children and whatnot. My mother, Sonia Beekley, she'll probably find this somewhere. Love spending content. And I'd say just like different friends that I have, I have a girlfriend, Vita. She is actually younger than me by about 6 months, and she's kicking butt. I think she'd be like an awesome maybe connection for this too. Just her and her boyfriend run like 3 different companies, like they're young 20s, kicking butt, doing awesome things. So she definitely inspires me to be like, you know what, we're all young, we're figuring these things out, but we can definitely do hard things as well.
Awesome. What's been the biggest challenge that you faced? A personal hurdle in business. The business has reflected a growth spot that you really needed to overcome. What's been the biggest one that you've had to really face in business?
I think the biggest one is belief in myself, honestly, because again, I think you can have like an outwardly confidence in certain things, just like almost pretending that you can do anything in your X, Y, and Z. But I think when you build a business and it totally just opens you up and you have to actually become the person that you're meant to be and be authentically yourself, that can be scary. And you maybe don't want to believe in yourself. You have a lot of self-doubt. You don't think you can become that person. But I think over time, especially if you have amazing men and women in your circles that can feed that belief in you, and even you can borrow it for a period of time, then you can really start to see, okay, like I can do these different things. I can grow my capacity. I can get to these little goals just by little promises you keep from yourself and that little confidence that you build through that. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned through running a business.
And what advice would you give to someone who's starting out and they're nervous, or they maybe feel like they don't have all the skills they need to start a business but are passionate? What would you say to them?
Say just do it. Like most 99% of people are never successful just because they never start. Like you'll never figure out enough because you'll be in, analysis paralysis. You'll just overthink everything in your life. And so just start. because that's the only way you're going to really figure it out. Because I love the analogy of like, I think most people, the road to success is say like a whole marathon, so 26 point something miles. And most people think if they wait a period of time and maybe they just read books or gain knowledge, that maybe they'll be dropped at like the halfway mark, so that 13 point something miles. But really, you're just going to have to start at the same place as everyone else. So start early, you'll figure it out, it'll be okay. You'll fail a billion freaking times, but the more you fail, the more successes that you have. So just start, find people who care about you, but can level you up to the next area of your life.
We've been hearing that message a lot about mentorship. I feel like always have a coach, right? Always have somebody who's in your corner who wants to see you succeed, that's not telling you, honey, that's not a great idea. Are you sure that's going to work? Maybe you should just go get a regular job. Or like the entrepreneurs really have a hard time sharing sometimes, because especially with the people closest to them, for fear of well-intended folks who are trying to save them from themselves, and it's more risk than they would take, so that they deter them. And find somebody who will call you out on your shit and champion you all at the same time, who possibly is not related to you.
Yeah.
It's more beneficial if they're not related to you.
I know you mentioned some books, but any other podcasts or any other things that you consume that you would recommend for people to listen to or read?
I'd say for the newest, like someone trying to get into entrepreneurship, I think just under like different books that I read from the beginning were The Power of One More. So Ed Mylett wrote that one. The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. So like people sometimes want to jump to leadership books. I'm like, do like the people skill books, the mindset books first, just to grow you, because you can't lead anyone until you lead yourself. So get into books like that, like even just old school Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, or How to Raise Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. Like those were very foundational books for me, just to be like, you know what, I'm just going to be enthusiastic. We're going to go out there, we're going to kick butt, and we're going to figure things out. So books like that. And then I love listening to like Ed Mylett. I don't even like inspirational people. I love like Cody Sanchez, like people just kicking butt in their industries. I get like different podcasts within my kind of circle as well. But yeah, just finding something that like little tidbits throughout your day that you can keep going with it.
And what do you see the future of your business? Where do you see it headed? What are your goals?
So my goal is to continue to scale my business here. I have different connections in different states right now, so trying to enhance the clientele out there. So finding different businesses. We're working on like Tennessee, New York right now, as well as some other West Coast areas. I'm from Idaho, Washington, some stuff in Utah. So going national and maybe even potentially internationally, like I mentioned. But then also like building that and expanding it with different people. Like my goal is to help 1,000 different individuals build their own business within a similar field to gain whatever financial goals that they have. Again, whether that's their full-time business or their goal is just literally to get out of the rat race in some aspect and just have extra cash to like do things they want to do, travel, save, live their life, and not live paycheck to paycheck anymore, because we live in such a society that's just so wrapped up in that. But it's just changing the way you make money and the way you think about it, and finding an avenue that can help you get there.
And if people want to book your services, can they do that through your website? And if so, what is that website?
So yeah, people literally we're trying different aspects of that because we're having some technological issues. So literally, if people have questions of anything, you can just DM me on Instagram. That's probably the one I'm on the most. Just again, with questions, I actually provide free quote unquote consultations for the first several times, just to help someone understand if we're a good fit and if like they're actually willing to learn and grow and develop. And then we can go from there. But yeah, you just find me there. As simple as that. Just DM me on Instagram.
Fantastic. And that the handle on Instagram is
_Alexandra_Beekley.
Perfect. We'll make sure we add all of those in the show notes so people know where to find you, and also the book recommendations as well. So was there anything else about your business that you wanted to touch on that you didn't get a chance to today?
Don't think so. I think you asked a lot of great questions.
Perfect. Well, Alex, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. We can't wait to check out the website. Any way that we can help you and forward your mission and business, we'd be happy to do so. We're entrepreneurs as well, so this is still a side hustle for us, but we love supporting women entrepreneurs. So whatever we can do to help you, we'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, appreciate you all so much. It was an awesome time just getting a chat with you as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Remember, you can give us a follow on iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Share this if it resonates with someone.
Thank you, guys.
Love you
See ya.
guys.